Copa del Rey semifinals kick off today with the first leg between Athletic Club and Real Sociedad. Then tomorrow it is Atlético Madrid taking on Barcelona. So let's dive into that matchup, the one tomorrow, Atleti versus Barça. Barça coming into this match right now on a 6-game win streak. And then in those last 6 games for Atlético Madrid, however, it's been mixed results for them. 2 wins for them, 2 draws, and 2 losses. But when you take a look at the season as a whole, though, and the numbers across all competitions for these 2 teams, the goals allowed by both teams, it's nearly the same, with Atleti having allowed 37 goals, Barça 40. But when it comes to goals scored, Barcelona, they have scored 99 goals so far this season. Atletico Madrid, they've scored 65, and can I say just 65 in comparison to Barcelona's 99. Now, of course, Barca are coming into this game as the favorites, but they do have a long list of injuries. We just heard that Marcus Rashford is out. They're also without Rafinha, Pedri, Gavi, Andres Christensen. So the club is really turning to their young talent. We saw them do that over the weekend. They had a 3-0 win over Mallorca. And after the game, Hansi Flick said, what did he say? He said, relying on La Masia is good for the club. So he puts his faith, of course, into these young guys. How pivotal will they be in being able to help keep Barcelona going while they have the long list of injuries, Aaron?
Every single year it feels like, oh man, what are Barcelona going to do? Just smash that La Masia button. And you can do it every single time. They continue to churn out talent after talent after talent, and every single one that comes through is ready-made for the professional ranks. They play the same system since they're like 7 years old. They know where everyone is on the pitch. They know exactly what they need to do. They know their role. They are bought into this Barcelona ethos. It's the easiest thing in the world for Barcelona to say, okay, we can't spend money. We don't need to. We have it. We have rice at home. It's the greatest thing ever if you're a Barcelona supporter as well, because when you look on the pitch, it's your products. These are the guys that you've seen since they were 10, 11 years old. You're saying, oh, I can't wait to see Casal come through and finally make his breakthrough. So it's just an incredible just method of going through life Barcelona have. No other club in the world can really fall back on their academy like this, and honestly, it's incredible to me.
I think there was a little bit of a bitter taste in Hansi Flick's mouth when Dro Fernandez left Barcelona this transfer window. He was especially adamant that if you want to be at Barcelona, you want to come through La Masia, it's Barca through and through, and if you want to leave, then you're not for me. Because when Hansi Flick arrived, he made it very clear that he was going to kind of like restore that aura that La Masia had. It's not like they're producing goats year after year, by the way, right? Like, Pedri's not from La Masia. You know, everybody gets that confused.
More or less impossible, though, isn't it, to do that consistently?
But because of that golden generation that came through and had them win Champions Leagues with Messi and that generation, it feels like everyone is waiting for that next La Masia star. And maybe that's almost unfair, because to produce that type of quality, it's almost like once in a lifetime, right? Because then we did the same thing with Ansu Fati. The media pushed and propelled him, and it's like he's not even.
He struggled,
he can't. He's been bouncing around all over Europe trying to find minutes. So slowly, these kids are starting to have more important roles on their team. Like, it's great to see Marc Casado back. It's great to see this kid, Bernal, who tore his ACL against Rayo Vallecano at the beginning of last season. So it's great. This is very a la Hansi Flick. He said it from the very beginning. So, but not that Lamine Yamal isn't La Masia. We know that already, right? He's like the main guy.
But that was half the reason they brought him in, right? Because his reputation is there for all to see in terms of what he does with young players, and he likes that pathway. I think they're always going to be in a wonderful position to have this, and goes to Aaron's point. When you have a system that from 7, 8 years old, the philosophy doesn't change all the way through. When you now get into the first team, so, oh, I'm used to this.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
And also, going back to Nico's point, I can look for the last 20, 30 years and go, oh, this person from my position went through. He did the same thing that I did. He did the same training methods. It works. You have a complete buy-in. I do think when you look at the 2 teams, again, just to the stats, you were saying 99 goals for Barcelona, 65 for Athletic. I think when you start to look at it, that's exactly what I expect. I expect a Barcelona team to be a little bit gung-ho, a little bit cavalier in the way that they try and score goals. It's we're going to score more than you is the fundamental philosophy, and we're going to suffocate you with pressure. Atletico is more like, you can have the ball. We'll be here. We'll suffer. We know what our coach is like. We all buy in. We're going to suffer. We're going to hit you on the counter attack. I think they're both two wonderfully established teams with a clear identity of who and what they are. And I really love both teams. Like, I'm a massive Diego Simeone fan.
Well, we have seen one of his players, Julián Alvarez, been going through a bit of a scoring drought right now. What is it, just one goal in the last 15 games for him?
He hasn't scored in 2026.
So can I maybe compare this, because we've seen Ademola Lookman come to Atlético Madrid. Can I kind of compare this to Antoine Semenyo joining Manchester City at a time where Erling Haaland was kind of going through a scoring drought, and now we're seeing, maybe it felt like Semenyo was a bit of a catalyst for now we're seeing Erling Haaland come back. A little spark. So can we maybe say that we could potentially see Lookman doing that with Alvarez, Nico?
Yeah, potentially. I don't know what Atlético Madrid is this season, and I don't think Julián Alvarez does either. And I don't think you can compare this season that Julián Alvarez is going through to what Haaland is going through. Haaland is having an incredible season. Julián Alvarez is not. Like, at this point, I think Julián Alvarez has scored 6 less goals than he did last season, right?
Yeah.
He's off the mark, hasn't scored in 2026. You could see in his body language that he looks defeated, looks out of confidence. Again, I mean, you taught me more than anybody about how this is a streaky position, right? One moment you're cold, one moment you're hot. And right now, Julián Alvarez is cold, and it's not something he hasn't been through in his career. No,
I agree to that, but I also think the team became too structured in an attacking sense, too reliant on fighting and running. It was like the focus is more on running. And he's the one gem that, for me, is fantastic. In my opinion, one of the best strikers in world football. He can do a little bit of everything. Also, Arsenal were rumoured to be looking at him. Has that mentally, as he looked at that and thought, ooh,
and Barcelona, there's been a lot of noise.
This could be a great place for me to land. But I think with Lookman going in, it now gives him, when I watch their games, he's so deep, he has to link the play. Now he gives you somebody else who can take the ball 40, 50 metres up the pitch, gives him more space to breathe. I think a lot of the profile that what Atletico were doing didn't suit Julián Alvarez to be the best footballer he can be. We call it in football, you got some guys who are worker ants, you got someone who's the queen bee. That's the queen bee. You give them the ball, let them make as many mistakes you want, and the worker ants pick it up. And I think there was too many worker ants in that game. You need 3 or 4 queen bees for them to be the real reason that they are. And Lookman, I think it's a great situation for him. You see, he was at Fulham, didn't quite work out there. Got to Atalanta, doesn't quite work out there. He needs to be in a structure where it's like, this is how we're going to do it. This is what you're going to do your job. And once he does that, and you can see already, he's thriving in that structure.
You guys both touched on it. This year, though, this Atleti side seems a little bit different. They're not quite as Diego Simeone-esque. They're not keeping out the goals as they were. They're not as rigid, like you said, but that flexibility, I think, has made them a little bit more open. I think the Atleti players are a little confused as to what their identity is, and it's a very un-Diego Simeone team because of that. It's not built on, we're going to sit in, we're going to run and fight for 90-plus minutes, we'll hit you on the break, but we're not really going to concede.
Well, like, exactly. They don't know what they are. And to be honest, I think
Diego Simeone Spurs.
I think the identity of Cholo has evolved over the years, right? Sure, at times against maybe like Real Madrid and Barcelona, yeah, he's sitting in, but in most of the games last year, I don't know if he was that like defensive pack it in and then go on the counter. He was a very balanced, almost very offensive team. Like Julián Alvarez was scoring a lot of goals. This was a team that was fun to watch. Now this season, it's like you don't know what you're going to get. The midfielders constantly change. The forwards constantly change. Julián Alvarez is not playing well, you take him off. Like, in what world? He's your best player, and you're taking him off, and almost Sorloth is playing better than Julián Alvarez. Where's Antoine Griezmann in the mix? Where's Baena in the mix? He's been in and out. Thiago Almada, rumored to be leaving. Nico Gonzalez. It's just Barrios in and out. It's just, I don't know that if you ask Cholo Simeone, he can answer what this team is.
Definitively, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like the Spurs conversation that we had at the top. Coming off with a lot of questions.
Well, identity crises today.
Well, can we say that maybe Julián Alvarez himself is having a bit of an identity crisis? You guys spoke on it. He was linked with Barcelona. He was linked with Arsenal. So if he is to potentially go to a new club, that does lead us into our Zillow new home search. Nico, where would you potentially like to see Alvarez end up? If you want him to end up anywhere. Anywhere else?
I want what's best for Julián Alvarez, and if that's staying at Atlético Madrid and it's good for him, sure. I think he would be a massive get for Arsenal. He would be so good for Arsenal, and he's been proven that he can play in the Prem. He can play anywhere in the world. He's a workhorse. The amount of chasing that he can do, nobody on Arsenal can do right now. And for Barcelona, I think he would be great as well. If you're trying to move on beyond Lewandowski, starting the press, Julián Alvarez is your guy. So
I'm gonna throw one in.
Anywhere.
I'm gonna throw one in there. Chelsea. I know they go younger, but he's what, 26? 26 years of age. Probably a little bit older than what they would like stereotypically, but won everything. Knows what it's like to be a pro. Can take you to that next level. Does the likes of a João Pedro, an Esteval, Cole Palmer, they all get to learn from somebody like him. And the one thing we know is he's a workhorse.
Yeah.
So in those games that we saw, like yesterday against Leeds, you're 2-0 up and you have a Julián Alvarez in there. Everything he's learned at Atletico,
80th minute,
he kills them. He kills them.
Yeah.
And I just think, I would like to see that from a Chelsea point of view in terms of how does Chelsea as a team take that next step.
He can go anywhere.
Yeah.
He's so good. I was about to say, he's so good.
I'd take him in a heartbeat at the Arsenal. Like, in less than a heartbeat. It would be incredible there.
It makes you favourites for everything.
He would be perfect for Barcelona as well.
Yes. If at Arsenal, if he went into Arsenal as currently constructed, Arsenal are favourites for everything.
Wow.
Agreed.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.